We're going to talk about the heat of formation reaction equations. When we're writing these equations, there's a few things we have to remember. The reactants cannot be ions. So you cannot have cations, anions, positives, negatives floating around in the reactants. The reactants cannot be compounds, and the elements have to be in their natural states. So for example, if we're talking about lithium, then we write lithium solid. If we're talking about calcium, then we're talking about calcium solid. You also have to remember the elements that occur as diatomic. For example, oxygen, chlorine, hydrogen. Those actually exist as diatomic molecules, Cl2, O2, H2, gas. And you want to remember that the reaction needs to be balanced to form 1 mole of product. When we're balancing regular chemical equations, our coefficients have to be whole numbers. We're not allowed to use fractions. But for these heat of formation reaction equations, we can use fractions because our goal is to form 1 mole of that product. Let's take a look at this example. Write the heat of formation reaction equation for C2H5O C2H5 liquid. I always want to start off with the product. I want to remind myself that I'm only forming 1 mole of the product. And I want to include my phases. So this is a liquid. So I need to know what elements form this 1 mole of product. So I see that this product has 2 plus 2, that's 4 carbons. So I'm going to include 4 carbons in my reactants. I also see that there is 5 plus 5, that's 10 hydrogens. But hydrogen exists as a diatomic molecule. So it's H2 gas. But I need it to equal to 10. So there's a number for a coefficient that I can multiply by 2 to give me 10. That's 5. 5 times 2 is 10. I also have 1 oxygen. However, oxygen exists as a diatomic molecule. So I have 2 oxygens. I only need 1 oxygen. So I can go ahead and put the coefficient 1/2. 1/2 times 2 is 1. So I just wrote a heat of formation reaction for 1 mole of this product. This product has 4 carbons, 5 times H2 hydrogens, plus 1/2 times O2 oxygens. That should give me 1 mole of the product. Let's take a look at another example. I want to write the heat of formation reaction equation for Na2CO3 solid. I'm going to remind myself that I'm talking about 1 mole of Na2CO3 solid. I see that I have 2 sodiums, so I'm going to write that down. I have 1 carbon. I'm going to write that down. And I have 3 oxygens. However, oxygen is diatomic, so I'm going to have to start it off as O2 gas. And I need to figure out what number, what coefficient do I need to multiply by 2 to give me 3. If my coefficient is 3 over 2, I can double check that. 3 over 2 times 2 over 1 is 6 over 2, which is just 3. So I had to use a fraction for the coefficient. 3 over 2 times 2 gives me 3 oxygens. So 1 mole of this product is formed by 2 sodiums, 1 carbon, and 3/2 O2 molecules. Good luck and keep practicing.